Guys, Behavior have released the patch notes for what is quite possibly the biggest Dead by Daylight update to date. It has changes to gameplay, perks, progression. Everything you can imagine is changed in this update. Behavior have truly outdone themselves. What I want to do is go over this update as quickly as I can so you guys have all the information as quickly as possible. Link in the description if you want to read it yourself. Let's get into it. It's coming for the public test build next week, which means my prediction of July 19th for the release of this update is pretty spot on. And let's get into it. So basically, Behavior have said that the progression changes to the prestiging is going to reduce the amount of time to essentially prestige a character by 3 hours. So they're estimating that they have reduced the grind by 75% total. So now, if you want to unlock perks in Dead by Daylight, what you have to do is get a survivor or a killer to level 50 to prestige them. And when you do prestige them, all the perks from that survivor or killer are automatically unlocked on every other survivor and killer to be used in the loadout. You don't have to go through the blood web to get them. They will be at tier 1 for prestige 1, tier 2 for prestige 2, and tier 3 for prestige 3. So that means that the grind is reduced heavily because you no longer have to spend blood points on every other survivor to unlock perks from other survivors. They're automatically just there for you to use. Additionally, every time you press that prestige button, you will no longer lose your perks, your items, your add-ons, or your offerings, and you will maintain your 4 perk slots as well for each prestige. So that means that you don't lose anything anymore. This system is basically designed to just be used without even thinking about it, whilst you just get benefits constantly. You also are able to prestige endlessly. And they've changed it now so that on Prestige 1, you get level 1 perks. Prestige 2, you get level 2 perks. Prestige 3, you get level 3 perks. Then, Prestige 4, you get the Bloody Cosmetic 1. Prestige 5, Bloody Cosmetic 2. Prestige 6, Bloody Cosmetic 3. So basically, they're incentivizing you to continue prestiging. And then, additionally, for Prestiges 7, 8, and 9, you will also gain a charm or a teachable from that survivor or killer. So if you have a favorite perk, now you can show it off with charms. So that is how that's going to work. Now, the Shrine of Secrets is also changing. Basically, you will be able to purchase tiers of perks from the Shrine of Secrets to unlock on every character automatically. So the first time you buy a perk from the Shrine, it will be unlocked at the next level additionally. So if you already prestige that character once, for say, and the perk is in the Shrine, you can buy the perk from the Shrine to get the second level on every character. Or if you're already Prestige 2, the third level on every character. So the idea is that the Shrine of Secrets now unlocks perks faster for everyone. Now, how is this going to work when you transition? Well, if you've spent blood points on a survivor but never prestiged them, you will essentially gain prestiges based on how many perk tiers you have unlocked. So if you've max perked your survivor at level 50 with never prestiging, then you're going to go straight to Prestige 3 on that survivor when this system unlocks. And for anybody who has already Prestige 3 their characters, you will gain a special prestige icon to recognize your achievements. So we'll see what those look like, but I suspect those are the silver badges that I showed off in one of my videos recently. Behavior are also adding a matchmaking incentive in this update that basically ranges from 25% to 100% bonus blood points based on which role needs more players playing it. So Behavior always wants a 4-to-1 ratio to match 4 survivors to 1 killer. So based on how bad the ratio is, you will gain additional blood points for playing the role that is desperately needed. And they're hoping that also will indicate to people what the fastest queues are and give you more incentives to, you know, try new things in Dead by Daylight. Additionally, generator speeds are being nerfed, finally! Generators are now going to take 90 seconds to complete rather than 80 seconds. They've added an additional 10 seconds to every generator, whilst also making it so that when you kick a generator, it will immediately remove 2.5% of the maximum progress of that generator. So kicking a generator does something immediately, and the generator takes longer to do. Keep that in mind when you start looking at some of the nerfs to perks, because they have increased generator times to try and make up for that. Also, when you're playing killer, you will now break walls and pallets 10% faster. So you get a mini brutal strength as base kit. And you also recover from your attacks onto survivors 10% faster as well. Additionally, a survivor's movement speed duration after getting hit has been reduced by 10% as well. So this is all designed to make chases easier and faster for killers. On top of that, Bloodlust has also been improved, which I cannot believe. They've made it so that Bloodlust now activates at 15 seconds, 25 seconds, and 35 seconds for the different tiers. So basically, Bloodlust 2 is now 5 seconds faster, and Bloodlust 3 is now 10 seconds faster, meaning that characters like Sadako that have weak chases should, in theory, be able to catch up to survivors quicker if they never break a pallet. Now, survivors, you may be thinking, that's a lot of killer buffs. Well, Behavior are working on ways to make camping and tunneling less prevalent. Basically, borrowed time is now base kit. Whenever you get unhooked, you will gain a borrowed time effect for 5 seconds at base kit, as well as a 7.5% movement speed buff for those 5 seconds as well. So the idea is that you should get tunneled immediately, and you should be able to get away from the tunnel, the hooked area faster, because you now have base kit borrowed time, essentially. However, Behavior have also updated the list of conspicuous actions that will basically, turn off these effects. So if you repair a generator, heal yourself or others, cleanse a totem or bless a totem, sabotage a hook, unhook another survivor, or open an exit gate, any second chance perk that you have, like Borrowed Time or Decisive Strike, will automatically deactivate. So let's get into some of the perk changes. Let's start off with the meta killer perks that are being changed. Barbecue and Chili has had its blood point bonus removed from it. Behavior believe that they are already going to incentivize killers to play due to the fact that some people report that the survivor to killer ratio is somewhere around 30 survivors to every 1 killer. So in theory, that matchmaking incentive for playing killer is always going to be relatively high. And so they're removing the blood point incentive for playing with Barbecue and Chili so that it's all about the aura reading instead. Hex Ruin has also been nerfed. Now, rather than a 200% regression at tier 3, it will only regress generators for 100%. And as soon as one survivor dies, the perk will permanently deactivate to stop the snowballing effect that Hex Ruin can have. Pop Goes the Weasel has also been nerfed. Now, rather than removing 20% of a maximum generator's repair progress, it will remove 20% of the current progress that it has. So that will be much less if a generator is got only, let's say 30% progress. And they believe that because they've already given you that additional 2.5 regression when you kick a generator, as well as the longer gen speeds, that this won't really affect Pop Goes the Weasel at all. Corrupt Intervention has had its duration removed. Now, as soon as a survivor goes into the dying state, Corrupt Intervention will deactivate. So that means that the survivors are stealthing, you will get it for longer, but if you down someone quickly and get into the game quicker, then that effect is removed. Tinkerer has been essentially buffed. Nerfed. So basically, they made it so it will now activate only once per generator. However, due to the fact that generators take 10 seconds longer, Behavior believes that you'll get more time to reach the generator that one time that it does activate. Noed has been slightly nerfed because the survivors now can see the Noed totem if they're within 4 meters of the totem, up to 24 meters 30 seconds after it activates. So the idea is that the survivors can find it quicker to shut down an endgame snowball. Pain Resonance has also been nerfed. Now, it will no longer make a loud noise notification on the generator that was regressed. So no scream, and as well as no, icon for the killer to see, which means that you can no longer pair it with Dead Man's Switch. Dead Hard has been changed completely. It no longer has distance in the perk. Now, when you activate Dead Hard, you will get a 1-second endurance, which means that if you get hit, you will basically get the 1.8 seconds distance from being hit without going down. But if you don't get hit, then you will go down. So the idea is you can no longer Dead Hard to a window or pallet to save your life. You have to time it to avoid a hit from the killer. It's going to increase mind gains from killers. But also, if you are successful as a survivor in your mind game, you may actually gain more distance if you are successful. So I think it's now even more of a skill perk. Decisive Strike has also been changed in the sense that now when an exit gate is powered, it will deactivate. It's no longer useful in endgame situations. Also, the stun duration has been reduced by 2 seconds. It only stuns the killer for 3 seconds total. Big nerf for Decisive Strike. Now that borrowed time is base kit, basically the effect has been increased. So if you get unhooked, you'll get 10 additional seconds of endurance, as well as 10 additional seconds of that movement speed buff. So 15 seconds total. So the idea is that you have borrowed time light in base kit, but if you want more time, borrowed time is still useful. Iron Will has now been nerfed, so it only works up to 75%. So killers will still be able to hear you slightly, which makes spirits stronger. Additionally, if a survivor is exhausted, Iron Will no longer reduce your sounds. Self-care has also been nerfed. It will now work at 35% rather than 50%. It's a 35. It's a huge nerf, basically. So the idea is that people are even slower self-caring. And also, there's no item efficiency on the perk either. Spine Chill has been nerfed. The vault speed has been removed from Spine Chill. Additionally, it will only activate if the killer has a clear line of sight to the survivor, which means if the killer is behind a wall, it will no longer activate. They are adding a short 0.5 second lingering effect to try and avoid those flickering on and off times to make this action speed faster. Now, here are some buffs for you. Overcharge has received a huge buff. A kick generator will now have its regression grow from 100% to 400% over 30 seconds, meaning that survivors have to go and tap that generator to avoid the generator regressing up to 400%. Crazy. Eruption has an additional 4% on its regression penalty, as well as the incapacitated status effect being increased to 25 seconds. Knockout. Now, a survivor will crawl 50% slower for 15 seconds, and their recovery speed is also 25% slower. Chorophobia has a new effect. Skill checks will happen at 50% faster speed whenever you're in the killer's terror radius. Dark Devotion now activates whenever the obsession loses a health state rather than going into the dying state. Jolt or Surge no longer has a cooldown. Lethal Pursuer extends all durations of auras by 2 seconds, so it has an effect after it's deactivated. Still, I don't know if that means Lethal Pursuer is now 11 seconds rather than 9 seconds. We'll find out. Scourge Hook, Gift of Pain, has an additional 7% action speed penalty added to it. Thanatophobia has an additional 0.5% added to it per survivor, up to 22% rather than 20%. Monstrous Shrine has become a Scourge Hook, turning the basement hooks into Scourges. Additionally, Scourge Hooks now grant 20% faster progression, only if the killer is outside of a 24-meter radius. So that means you can have, I believe, up to 8 Scourge Hooks, including the basement hooks. Survivor perks that have been buffed. Calm Spirit now blesses totems, opens chests, and cleanses totems silently, but it does take 30% longer. Saboteur now shows all Scourge Hook auras as well. Botany Knowledge now has its healing speed efficiency increased up to 50% rather than 33%. Off the Record now gives you a big 80-second endurance status effect after you've been unhooked. However, as soon as you perform one of those conspicuous actions, it will deactivate. Lucky Break, now you can gain up to 1 second of duration for every second you spend healing another survivor. So it lasts 60 seconds, and you can gain back up to 60 seconds for every second you spend healing another survivor. Pharmacy now will make it so that whenever you are injured, you will be able to search a chest for a green med kit. That's as many times as you want, as long as you're injured. Soul Survivor, if you're the last survivor remaining, now increases generator speeds by 75%, as well as exit gate opening and hatch opening by 50% as well. Distortion now allows you to gain 1 token back for every 30 seconds spent within the killer's terror radius. Lightweight, this is miswritten, but it basically now makes scratch marks fade 5 seconds faster rather than 3 seconds faster. Deja Vu has a new effect. Basically, whenever you reveal the 3 closest generators to each other, you now grant a 5% repair speed bonus if you then repair one of those revealed generators. No One Left Behind now increases everyone's movement speed by 7%. Sorry, the survivors you unhook's movement speed by 7% after you've unhooked them. And it activates when the gates are powered rather than open. Dark Sense has a new effect. Rather than revealing the killer when you do a generator, After you have completed after a generator is powered, the next time the killer comes within 24 meters of you, you get to see their aura for 10 seconds. Tenacity has an additional 75% grunts of pain reduction added to it. So crawling speed as well as grunts of pain reduction. Hope it no longer deactivates in endgame. It's just permanently available once the 5th generator is completed. Overzealous now has an additional 8% repair speed bonus if you cleanse a Hex Totem. So that is 16% total for Hex Totems. We're Gonna Live Forever has also had the blood points removed from it, so that is just used for picking up other survivors. That is it, guys. That is the entire dev update for the July mid-chapter, which I believe will come out July 19th. There are so many changes. Better killer games, better survivor perks, better killer perks as well. I don't even know where to begin. Let me know in the comment section what you're most excited for. And also let me know in the comment section what you hate from this update, because I know some people are going to hate some things. Overall, I'm really happy to see that the grind has been reduced by 3/4. I also love the fact that behavior are making the game base kit stronger for killers and survivors to essentially reduce camping and tunneling, as well as, you know, to allow killers to chase more efficiently, as well as gen speeds at base being slower so that you don't have to rely on perks as much to control games. I think that's a really healthy change, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next video, and go watch me play Blindfolded because it was really funny.